Today we're going to talk about some things like sobriety, obviously anxiety, living everyday today life, if that makes sense. I don't think that made sense. Day-to-day life, that's better. You will probably hear my dogs in the background because they are crazy. So, let's start off with living with sobriety and walking down this road. So with me, it wasn't real easy to do. It was more of the fact that I had some help. Like, I had people behind me. A lot of people don't have people behind them to give them the push, give them the help that they need, and that makes it 10 times harder. Me, myself, I had my wife, mainly because she was wanting me to be sober so the family could stay together. And with that brings in its own thing because of relationships. And from before this point, I was horrible with relationships. I would continuously drink and do drugs, and that was one of the main things that kept me away from having a good, stable relationship. It would be, I think the longest one was 4 years. I refused to get help with my drinking, and it also seemed like it was always me. I was the problem, and that kind of drove me insane because it's like, you had some problems too. All right, so I felt like it was an attack on me, that it shouldn't always just be about me of why we're not working, why this isn't helping. The only reason this relationship isn't working is because of me. I thought that I shouldn't be the only one to have the blame, because that's ridiculous. Like, why am I the only one getting blamed for this relationship when there's obviously some things that you need to work on too? But it all boils down to the drinking and the drugs. That is the biggest. If you fix that, then you're gonna fix a lot of things in your relationship. And I've came to realize that. With my beautiful wife, I have 2 amazing kids, and we have been doing amazing. Like, we don't get in fights a whole lot. We fight like everybody else, but we don't get in a whole lot of fights that are like make it or break it. The only things that were make it or break it with us was when I was drinking, and that was the make it or break it kind of thing, because she didn't want me drinking around the kids. She didn't want to see me drinking my life away. And I even thought to myself, I was like, okay, well, our first date was in a bar. So why is it now that I'm the only one that, it looks bad upon now? You knew who you got with. That was my thinking. But that's the wrong thinking. That's the thinking of somebody that is in denial. That's the thinking of somebody that just is too wrapped up in his own self to actually understand that, because there's a difference between first time dating and actually having a family. When you start having a family, you're becoming an adult yourself. You're becoming something that you want your kids to look up to. And how can you let your kids look up to you if you're failing all the time, drinking, and telling them that's how you that's how you party, that's how you congratulate things, that's how you have to have a beer in your hand to do this, or this. Everything's more enjoyable when you're high. It just boils down to the fact that you're an adult now, and it's time to put the kid stuff that you used to do behind you. Because that part itself is very hard, because we all want to hold on to our youth. And I think that's a big issue with becoming sober, is we still have yet to learn that we're getting older and we're having to do things that we didn't want to do. And I think that also comes down to the fact that we are selfish. We want for us. We want to make us happy. We want to, all this other stuff about me, not us. Like, you're only thinking about you. The only time that you're thinking about us is, this is gonna start a fight between us because I'm drinking, because I'm smoking, or any of that. It gets ridiculous. But it becomes something that you just don't want to deal with. You want to deal with your own emotions, and your own emotions, how to deal with them is by drinking or by doing drugs. Don't get me wrong, there's some people that use weed for medicinal purposes, and that's on you. That's totally fine. I don't have a problem with it. I mean, I know that it opens the door for me to drink. So it's very controversial on the weed subject. Like I said, I don't have a problem with it as long as, you know, it's not making you do other things or making you do drugs and you're using it for medicinal purposes. Because I think God did put some stuff on this earth for us to have as medicine. I don't see it as any different as taking medication. But like I said, for me, I end up drinking when I'm doing it, so I have to stay away from it because then I just want the next high, and that's a problem with me. That, and I also smoke until I'm just like inebriated and it's stopped being used for medicinal purposes. So relationships myself, it's always became a horrible experience for me. I don't know if it's because of the way I thought relationships were supposed to go, and it's supposed to be like a 50 thing, and you know the wife does this, blah blah blah, which it's not true. It's not gonna happen that way, and that's 50's kind of error. You have to go into the new 2025 thing, and it's everybody wants to pull their own weight, and that's totally fine. I don't have a problem with that. The way I was brought up was the wrong way, and that's just how my mind went. It was to the woman does this, but at the same time, my mom was she was a hard worker. She went out there and got work and stuff like that. So basically, my mom did everything. So I just saw the woman doing everything. So I guess that's a kind of misconception of how my mind took that, which was a stupid way of taking that, because I think that all marriages are going to be 50-50. Sometimes 80-20, you know, just depending on the day. But for the most part, we all need to work together. And I think that's the best and beneficial advice I can give in a relationship. You're not the only one doing certain things. You both need to work together. And that's one thing with drinking that I realized it wasn't happening. I was just drinking and letting her do everything, and that can cause a big strain on everything. So relationship-wise, I was horrible. And there's every reason in the world why I was never good at relationships. But now I think I'm starting to slowly get the hang of it, and I think I'm slowly starting to understand the foundation of it. I'm starting to understand the foundation and the very platform of which we build our house upon. Because with drinking, I couldn't see it. All I saw was, when am I going to get my next fix, next time to get drunk. Like I said before, I couldn't do anything without thinking that I needed to go get drunk. So there's that. So let's talk a little bit about anxiety now. Okay, so anxiety. You're sober now, and now you're trying to deal with anxiety. Well, that's awesome. But it's not going to be fixed instantaneously. You're still going to have it. To be honest, these YouTube videos has helped me with my little bit of anxiety. It's kind of helped me to understand how to talk a little bit. I don't know if you guys seen the first video. It was pretty crazy. My talking was very horrible. I'm not saying it's great now, but it was a lot more robotic. So it's nice to actually be able to speak my mind a little bit. I'm not completely 100% better, because you guys would be laughing a whole lot more. Probably not, but you would see that there would be a big change, and there is a big change of how it went from where I was and who I am today. Also, I'm taking some medication, so that helps a little bit. But anxiety is a giant mountain to climb. Like, going outside and being able to speak to people, that's a gift all in its own. I think that itself is a very cool talent to have, because I don't have that talent. I don't have the talent to just go outside and strike up a conversation. And unless I was on methamphetamines or cocaine, I could definitely go spark up a conversation. I remember a conversation I used to have. I just got done doing a Rockstar line of coke in an apartment. We were there for like 2 weeks, just doing cocaine and smoking weed. and I would snort a line, and I'd come outside, just think the day is just amazing, and just come out there and talking to anybody and everything I could. I remember some guy was washing his wheels out in the hotel, and I was like, hey, what's going on, man? And I just was chatting it up, and he probably thought I was crazy, but he was still talking to me, because honestly, nobody in that hotel that just comes out randomly talking is not on drugs. So, and I kind of think that's still, and that goes with any place, somebody just randomly comes up talking to me, I'm like, you're on drugs, because it's not fathomable, there it is, to me to understand how people can just go from zero to talking like that. Like, it baffles me. It baffles my head, baffles my mind, baffles my body. So I think that's really cool that there's some people that can just do that, and I envy them, and I'm very starstruck by them, to be honest. It's a really cool thing to have, and it gets you really far in where you're trying to go at certain places, because a lot of places you need to have the ability to have great communication skills. And one thing that I do not have is great communication skills, but eventually I plan on having that and being able to just go out anywhere and chatting up to old Billy Bob and telling him how my day's going, even though he didn't ask. I just don't care, and I'm gonna tell him anyways. So I want to somewhat be that annoying person that can just go out there and just talk to anybody, because sometimes it is annoying, I will say that. But that's also probably because I'm jealous of them that they get to go out there and talk to anybody in the world and have no problem with it, and not have a problem with anybody thinking that you look crazy, or why are you talking to me, or you don't have those thoughts going on in your head about any of that, because that's amazing. But anxiety is a very big step. Getting over anxiety is a very big step when you become sober, at least for me anyways. And if you're on this channel, obviously you deal with some kind of sobriety or anxiety. So I think it's just awesome the way people can just go out there and talk. Will I eventually? Maybe, just to get myself out there and understand how to do it without being so scared, and stop worrying about what other people think when I'm talking to them. If they think I'm smart or stupid, eventually I'm going to get to the part where I just don't care. And I will love that, and I think it's going to be very beneficial, especially with being able to talk to people in person about sobriety and anxiety, or just sobriety, or about God, or about, I think it's just going to be an amazing feeling to be able to get everything that I want to say off my chest eventually one of these days. It's getting better. I feel like I'm getting better with that, at least to you guys, or to you. I feel like I'm getting a lot better at talking. Like I said, you can go back to my other video and you can see that my talking has gotten a little better. There's not a whole lot of cuts of and that didn't sound right. That sounded, I didn't like that. Okay, anyways, might cut that out. I don't know, probably. But speaking of cutting things, yeah, just keep working on your anxiety. If I'm working on mine and I'm starting to come out of my shell a little bit, then there is hope for everybody else to come out of their shell too. Because I am a hermit, and I don't like to talk about my feelings. If I can do it, I think you can too. And when we start talking with anxiety, we don't have to straight up just tell everybody our life story. We can just start off with, how's the weather, even though everybody hates starting conversations like that. Start off with an awkward conversation, and maybe that'll help, because then you can get past the awkwardness and you guys can laugh. Or don't, and then you just stand there staring at them with an awkward gaze. Don't get a glaze. Don't get glazed donuts. Anyways, just keep pushing, keep trying to work out your expectations of what you want fixed when it comes down to your anxiety, because I know it's difficult. We're working this together, me and you. So let's continue working on this, and don't just get sucked into the lifestyle of staying at home, because you can't do that for the rest of your life. You can, but I don't advise it. Life is short, so you have one life. You don't want to be, well, I lived it at home. You want to be able to get out there and talk to people. Enjoy being sober. You don't want to have to figure out how to enjoy being sober at your house. Yes, there's video games and stuff like that, but that's not real life. If you get out there and actually start trying to mingle with people, maybe you'll open up some different avenues that you never thought that would be opened up. So I encourage you guys to continuously work on your anxiety, because I've been working on mine, at least this way. So maybe one of these times I'll take you out and I'll show you how awkward my conversations are to people, especially when I'm holding the video cameras. So talking a little bit more about sobriety anxiety, and let's talk about how living every day, how the day looks. My day, I start off by getting up, getting my kids ready for school, and drinking some coffee, and then driving them to school, and while my wife gets ready for work, because right now I don't have a job, so I'm sitting here going crazy. So my everyday life is I clean the house, I turn in some applications, I take care of my dogs, and I make sure everything's well prepared and ready for when my wife gets home. You can call me a housewife, that's fine. I don't. I also make sure that there's dinner on the table, maybe not right on the table because I want to wait and keep it hot, but make sure that there's dinner prepared when they get home, or for when they do get home I start preparing dinner so it stays hot, and then we kind of spend time together, or I have my episodes and I go off into the room and I kind of recluse myself. So that's kind of my days, and sometimes I play instruments, but it varies. Is it the right way to go about life? No, it's not. Do I want to continuously do that over and over and over? No, I don't. Eventually I will have a job, and eventually I'll be able to get out there and do some other fun things with my family. Here recently I went to Touch a Truck, which is where kids come and look at all these cool trucks like ambulances, fire trucks, helicopters, stuff like that. They come and they get to experience what it's like to be inside those trucks. I did that with my church, so we went out and we made balloons, we did some fun things like that. I might show you the video of some of that.
You have a sword? Yes, sir. A red sword? That's right. Good.
Welcome to Shawnee Touch Truck.
No, that's mine. Wait, blooming onion. Oh, dude. I can make you one. It's like the office. What's he say? What does he say? He's having a meeting and he goes, blooming onion? Blooming onion? What does he say? What does he say? Blooming onion? What does he say? If you know what the guy from the office says, comment below.
I just need a purpose now, and I've been asking God for a purpose in my life, and maybe that's what you need to do with your life, is ask God what your purpose is in this life, because you have a purpose. Everybody has a purpose. I've said this multiple times on my videos. We all have a purpose. So continue asking God what our purpose is, what your purpose is, and see where he's trying to take you. Right now, I feel like he's telling me to be still, and it's very, very difficult for me to be still without getting Stockholm Syndrome. So I'm working on that. I'm working on what he wants me to do with my life. And maybe it's not maybe, I'm just waiting on him to open up a different path for me to go into, and the things that I keep failing out right now is he's setting me up for success later, and I'm just not seeing the big picture. And that's the problem with a lot of us, is we're not looking at the big picture. We're only looking at the small instantaneous things that should be happening right now, because we're on our time, not on God's time. And once we realize that we need to be patient and still and wait and listen to what God has to say, then we'll understand that there's a time and a place for what we're trying to do and what He wants to do in our lives, and what job or what placement He wants to put us at. But right now I feel like He's just kind of molding me and taking me step by step, because I'm not ready or prepared yet. And that's okay. I'm not ready or prepared yet, and God's trying to mold me into something that is going to be beneficial for my family's life and my life. I hope and pray that everything is going to go great in your life, and I pray that we're just going to continue moving forward with where we're wanting to go in God's terms, of course. So, like I said, just keep pushing, keep going forward. If you're trying to get sober, put one drink aside and just do it day by day. You're not trying to impress anybody except yourself and God, or just yourself. So I think it would really impress you to be able to say no to one beer, that last beer. With anxiety, and if you are sober, continue to push forward. I can't stress that enough. Don't get in the slum of thinking that you're not good enough, you're not ever going to amount to anything, and you're worthless, because we all feel that. I feel that. But it's what we do to get past that is what makes us into who we're going to be. And I think that it's a very hard path, and it's a very difficult road to get through, but we can do it. And without the help of our family supporting us, God supporting us, any of that, without that, it's very difficult for us to get through it. We can't do it on our own. So remind yourself to start trying to get out there and talk to somebody. I found out that there's online classes online AA meetings. That excites me, because you don't have to have a camera on. You can just sit there and not say anything for a little while, at least until you're comfortable. So I think that's really cool. So check into those. Check into the rehab that you can do online, the AA meetings, the Celebrate Recovery, anything like that you can do online if you have bad anxiety like me, at least so you're getting some kind of help in the background. So let's continue moving forward. Keep putting yourself out there. Keep, asking how their day is. Don't start going in on your day. Just listen to other people and see how they are, and try to focus on other people instead of yourself. And you'll maybe find that it's nice to listen to somebody else instead of listening to your own problems for once, because we all have problems. We're all just a sad sack. So maybe listen to somebody else and see how they are, see how they're doing, and maybe get some coping pointers from them, because maybe they're doing something good. Maybe you're hearing something from a very happy person. Look up to those people. Talk to them. Talk to the people that are happy, because that's who I want in my life, is people that are happy. So we can do this. We can get through this. Keep coming to my videos. If you want to take this as a little bit of an AA, that's fine. That's awesome. Comment on the comments below a little bit about yourself, about your life story, about how you feel, and I'll get back with you. I'll talk back. So I appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to this video and to this little AA meeting we have going on. So you guys keep going strong. I love you guys. Yeah, Moonless Neptune. I'm out. Peace. That was a weird. Why do I do peace? I need to stop doing peace. It's not cool anymore. Don't do peace. Don't start off a conversation with peace, or leaving with peace. It's not cool. It's not cool. Okay.